Hey everyone, welcome to Phone Arena's in-depth video review of the Motorola Bravo, which is available right now through AT&T for the contract price of $130. It's a mid-range offering, and it's an only touchscreen device, no keyboard, unlike some of the other devices we've seen from Motorola's camp. It's pretty evident that the handset was developed alongside with the Motorola Defy that we checked out with T-Mobile not too long ago, just because it employs some same design characteristics. First of all, it's mostly constructed out of plastic, which is pretty durable. Yeah, it has like that rugged feel thanks to the soft touch coating material on the back. You have the bezel all around the handset. It's normal size, not that large or too small, and the weight is evenly distributed. And overall, we're pretty happy with its construction. Now, even though it's not positioned as a high-end handset, we're happy to see that it packs a 3.7-inch display, which has a resolution of 480 by 854 pixels and support for 16 million colors. So it's just like what we see on the Droid 2. So with the resolution and size of the screen, it offers some fantastic-looking text, pretty sharp-looking. Colors are also stunning, and we didn't have too much of an issue as far as viewing visibility and different angles. It's also quite responsive as you move about the platform, and we're happy with the display that's offered on it. Instead of finding 4 capacitive buttons, we're only treated to 3 below the touchscreen. You have the menu, home, and the back. Unfortunately, the search is not there, but luckily, there's very few accidental presses. The only thing that you'll find on the left-hand side is just the exposed micro USB port for charging and connecting to a computer. Well, on the right side, the only thing you'll find is this thin volume rocker, which has a rubberized feel to it, but you really have to press down to get a response. On the top side of the phone, we like the placement of the buttons. You have the dedicated power button, which is raised and offers a really good distinctive feel to it, and also the 3.5mm headset jack. Finally, on the back, you'll be greeted to the 3-megapixel autofocus camera, no flash or self-portrait mirror. You have the notch here for the speakerphone, and when you remove the back cover, it's going to give you access to the battery SIM card slot and the micro SD card slot. Powering the handset is an 800 MHz processor, which makes moving about the home screen fairly smooth with a pretty good responsive feel. Overall, we're pretty satisfied with the level of output it offers, and even when you go into the app panel, it manages to do scrolling without any problems. Unfortunately, though, it is the Android 2.1 experience instead of Android 2.2, so it's already a little bit step behind what's out there. It has Motor Blur running on top of it, so if you're used to this type of customized scan, you'll probably enjoy it. Seeing that it's a Motor Blur device, the social networking is heavily integrated with the platform. Directly from the home screen through the widgets, you can post messages to Facebook or even Twitter accounts, and you can also read up all the status messages from your friends directly within the social networking app. Thanks to its 3.7-inch display, the on-screen portrait keyboard should be decent enough for most people, but that's unless you have larger fingers. Luckily though, it's very responsive as you type away using the multi-touch keyboard. There's also the alternative solution with swipe, so if you're used to it, it's going to be a little bit faster input method. And finally, you have the landscape option, which offers you plenty of space for your fingers. If you'd rather instant message for your friends, you'll have options for AIM, Windows Live Messenger, and Yahoo Messenger with the flip side. Naturally, full Flash 10.1 support is lacking just because it's not Android 2.2, but rather it's Android 2.1. Luckily, though, it offers support for a flashlight, so there are some Flash elements that load up. Overall, the web browsing experience should be more than acceptable for anyone out there. It offers multi-touch gestures, some fast, smooth scrolling, and on top of that, it loads pages just like you see on a desktop. There's nothing really spectacularly different with the music player on the handset, just because it displays the album cover, the track information, even on-screen controls. As far as audio quality, it's more than deafening, but unfortunately, it is a little bit on the screechier side, which does make it a little bit unpleasant at the loudest volume setting. Thanks to its high-resolution display, it makes watching videos such a joy. The one we have here is encoded in MPEG-4, 1280 by 720 resolution. As you can tell, there's plenty of detail, and the frame rate that it's playing at is pretty smooth and should be more than enjoyable for anyone. With its 3-megapixel autofocus camera, it's able to capture some average-looking shots. In outdoor conditions, there's an average amount of detail in the scenery, and on top of that, colors are a little bit on the neutral side. Indoors, in poor lighting, the detail drops a little bit, but luckily the color tones still look neutral. Sadly, video capture is lacking with this mid-range handset just because it has a maximum shooting resolution of 352 by 288 pixels, but luckily it does capture at a rate of 27 frames per second, so it does look pretty smooth from a quick glance, but unfortunately it lacks any fine details and it's extremely pixelated. If it weren't for some interference that can't be heard through the earpiece, call quality would have been phenomenal on the Bravo. Luckily, voices have a strong and natural tone to them on both ends of the line, and when we switched to using the speakerphone, it produces some strong output, which made it very easy for us to hear our callers. Lastly, there is noise cancellation, so you could modify or enhance the voice quality. Battery life on the Bravo is pretty average. On normal usage, we managed to get by easily an 8-hour work shift with no problems and still had juice before we went to bed. Heavy users, though, will probably want to charge it as much as they can. And for light users, you'll probably get a good 1.5 days use out of it. As far as signal strength, we didn't have any issues as far as it fluctuating in bars. There's nothing really too compelling with the Motorola Bravo, especially for a device that's $130 and has Android 2.1 with no noticeable alluring features out of the bat. When you compare this to something like on Verizon's camp with the Droid X, it doesn't have that large screen, or it doesn't have the rugged features of the Motorola Defy on T-Mobile, so it's typical of any other Android handset on AT&T's lineup right now, aside from the Captivate. So if you'd like to learn more about the Motorola Bravo, or for all the latest cell phone reviews, news specs, and information, you can check us out at phonearena.com.